What's going on, everybody? The Diehard MMA Podcast was filmed live and exclusively on odds.com. So if you missed the live show, click the link below. It'll take you over to odds.com where you can watch the exclusive replay where we go over UFC 255 and all the betting action, our favorite spots with special guest Matt Holt from US Integrities. Thank you very much. Share this link out, and we'll see you guys over on odds.com. Another super interesting fight coming up here. The final preliminary fight, Brandon Moreno taking on Brandon Royval. Now, one of my favorite spots here on the card. I did go ahead and already lock in a bet here. We've got the Battle of the Brandons at flyweight. Moreno is 17-5. Royval is 12-4. And these guys are almost mirror images of each other, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I love Brandon Royval so much, and I ended up betting him already. And I actually like Bam Bam Moreno a lot too. I think Bam Bam Moreno has gotten a lot better. If you go back and watch the Brandon Bam Bam Moreno fight, and we'll call him Bam Bam just so we don't call them both Brian. If you go back and watch the Bam Bam fight versus Sergio Pettis, he had no striking game whatsoever. He had an amazing takedown game, almost choked out Sergio early in the fight, but literally was helpless on his feet. All he could do was throw big, huge, overhand whooping rights, and his stand-up game was terrible, but it has gotten a little bit better. So I have the utmost respect for Bam Bam Moreno. I just love Brandon Royval. We had him in his last fight. We were all over him, both of us. He reminds us both of a young Nate Diaz. Has that attitude, has that tall, long body. And people say those strikes don't look like they hurt, but before you know it, he is punching you in the face everywhere. And we saw Royval on the feet again in his last fight, and it's kind of like Nate in the early days. Nobody thought Nate could strike. Oh, man, look at this guy. Just little jabs out there. But, I mean, he is long, throws straight punches, and he hurts people. He destroyed Kai Kara France, who was a big favorite over Brandon Royval. He's a beast on the ground. His jiu-jitsu is sick. Man, I love Royval, and I already bet him this week. And, I don't like betting against Bam Bam Moreno because I think he has good experience, and I think he's training his ass off to try to get better. I just think his ceiling is much lower than Brandon Royval's ceiling. Brandon Royval can be the 125-pound champion, and because of his long body, could also go up to 135 and win that title as well 5 years from now, where Bam Bam Moreno's his ceiling is probably reaching the top 4 in the rankings.
Matt, we disagreed on a couple fights early in the evening, and it's been nothing but agreement since. I went into the tape this week fully expecting to throw Brandon Moreno in a parlay. I've been singing his praises for the last several years. I've been on his resurgence here in the UFC since he buckled down, worked hard, improved, and I fully expected to bet him here in this spot. And I was one of those people on Royval against Kai Kara France the last time out. We cashed that nice big fat underdog ticket, so I felt a little bad that I was going to turn around and fade him in his next fight. But watching the tape told me a different story. I could not agree with you more that he has a higher ceiling than Moreno. Even though Moreno has come such a long way, he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu purple belt, whereas Royval is a brown belt, and his Jiu-Jitsu is actually a higher level. Brandon Moreno, he's got good boxing. He's come a long way with his hands. However, he's incredibly hittable. Brandon Royval uses knees and kicks, flying attacks, that spinning elbow that he's got. He's got power in those shots. Moreno is a guy that will have to basically tee you up for 15 minutes and grind out a 15-minute decision. Royval can end a fight in 2 rounds. And I know MMA math doesn't work, but both these guys just fought Kai Kara France. And Moreno almost got knocked out by him and then went life and death with him getting to the judges' scorecards, whereas Royval got rocked by him and put him away in the second round. And I used Brandon Moreno as a measuring stick for betting Royval against Kai Kara France. That was the example I used. I went, look, he looks so much like this guy. He's going to be able to do the same exact thing and win in this spot as an underdog. Now, comparing them both directly, I don't see a single area besides the technical boxing that I think Moreno is better than Royval. I think this should be a 50-50 fight. minus 110 on either side. If you're accounting for the experience of Brandon Moreno in the UFC, you could make an argument that Brandon Royval should be the favorite in this fight. And I went and put a 2-unit bet on Brandon Royval at plus 160.
And I love young fighters who go all in early, who say, "Look, I know I'm not making a lot of money yet, and I know life's going to be hard, and this isn't going to be some rich, luxurious life yet, but I'm going to go ahead and take this extra money I have and give it to Factory X, basically, so I can go train with the best guys in the world while I'm in my early 20s and get better, so that when I'm 30 years old, I am making the money I hope to be in this profession, in my craft." And Royval did that. He's training with some of the best guys there is at Factory X, and his improvement fight to fight has been awesome.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you there. And Factory X Muay Thai, you said it. Like, what a place to be. He's surrounded by the right people there. I think the sky's the limit for this kid. And I went from thinking that Brandon Moreno was a sleeper to potentially challenge for a title to thinking that, unfortunately, Brandon Royval is actually the one who's going to be headed for the championship. So I'm big on the underdog, and I'm going to ride this train until the wheels fall off, man. If you keep giving me plus money on Royval, I will simply keep betting him.
Me too. Yeah, me too.
I love it. All right. Well, thank you all very much for hanging out with us this evening. There is no link to hit. There is no switching of the streams. We are hanging out right here on YouTube. This is Odds HQ. Make sure you subscribe. Give me that thumbs up. Give me a like here. We're putting in some work for you, bringing you the best sports betting content on the net today. And we're about to talk about the main card of UFC 255. And this is a good one. Like I said, extremely underrated. For those of you that don't know, you're going to learn today.